Okay, so let's go ahead and just move forward in here with Isabelle here, presenting for us here on the senior housing market. Isabelle, are you with us? Are you ready?
I'm here. I'm ready.
All right, I'll go ahead and turn the mic over to you to if you could please, first of all, can you just let us know as well a little bit like what is your experience with that senior housing market and what led you into it?
Yeah, so my grandmother actually needed assisted living care, and we were searching and searching for a place that was suitable for her. Nothing was nice or even a place we'd want to leave our goldfish, let alone my grandmother. So we kind of stumbled into residential assisted living and really just dove in, both feet, and purchased our first business, purchased the real estate, and now we own and operate 3 residential assisted living care homes, as well as, we've taught thousands of others how to own and operate these businesses all across the country over the last 8 years or so.
Oh, fantastic. Well, it's always exciting. I always love, people that have lived a journey that's similar to mine, which is, how did you solve the problem that you got into today? Well, it's because I had to solve it for myself. That's the exact same thing we did with Royal Legal and the asset protection, insurance, tax, and all of those components. Is I was like, hey, these are all problems I had to solve for myself. And then the whole company is based around how do we create a one-stop shop to bring it to you. I love it that you're here today with us as well, because you are the last link in our chain that we are looking for, which is where are the deals, where are the new investments that we need to get in that gets us the returns we're looking for and the tax advantages we're looking for in there too. So thank you so much for coming on today. I'm going to turn off my mic and camera. I'm going to turn over the floor to you. And everybody, as we're going through here, let's let Isabelle do her thing. Drop messages into the chat just as they come up for you, so that way you can remember, you don't forget what your great questions were, and everybody else can think about what your questions were. We'll have some time here at the end for some Q&A. So I'm going to pop off. Remember to dump all your questions there into the chat. Isabelle may pick them up as we go along. I'd recommend we wait till the very end, but do your thing, Isabelle, and we're excited to have you here. Thank you very much.
Sounds good. Thanks so much for having me. And yes, I will probably save Q&A for the end. So I'm just going to try to go through this as fast as possible, you guys. I'm going to share with you the one and done RAL formula. So how to start, own, and operate your very own residential assisted living care home. So why is now the best timing for senior housing, right? I mean, the world is looking kind of crazy with inflation and recession and all sorts of stuff going on. But if you guys aren't aware, the baby boomers have been driving the economy for the last 70 years. And this is your final chance to take advantage of the trends that they create. Their final wave goodbye. Start the morning with a dad joke there. If you guys don't know, the silent generation, that blue arrow, is who's currently in assisted living. There's about 47 million of them. And then that green arrow skyrockets up to the top. The baby boomers, there's 76 million of them. Timing has never been better. This is the fastest growing demographic on our planet. And it's projected that the world is going to look very different in 2060, 2050 than it ever has before. There will be more 85-year-olds alive than ever before. What we're doing with residential assisted living is disrupting the senior housing industry, saying no more are big box facilities, Brookdale, Sunrise, Atrium's the only option, right? Just like Uber did to taxi and Airbnb did to hotels, that's what residential assisted living is doing to the senior housing game. We're disrupting it, saying no more, there's other options and you're probably going to like them better. But what's going to change this year? We've seen a lot of change over the course of the last couple of years. Some businesses are out of business and we're all here on Zoom, right? Other businesses are booming. But sometimes we can drive ourselves crazy just thinking about the future, what's going to change, what's going to be next. I know something that's not going to change, right? Mom or dad needing help, seniors aging and needing care is never going to change. When money gets tight, when gas is expensive, that vacation to La Jolla or that week-long trip in Europe goes away. But caring for a loved one isn't a luxury item, it's a necessity. Smaller is better, and that finally got proved in 2020 and 2021. And there is a huge influx of people coming into this field trying to get involved with senior housing. Our company's motto is to do good and do well, because you can make a ton of money in this industry, but I don't want you to get caught up in that greed gland. I want you to focus also on the do good, the important and impactful, purpose that you could have, on this journey. I shared in the beginning, our journey began with a phone call. My grandmother fell, she broke her hip. And it's like, what are you going to do? Some of you here today might have experienced a similar story where it's like, am I going to quit my job and take care of my loved one full time? Am I going to give them in-home care, which can be extremely expensive? Or do I put them into a home? And as soon as you say it, you kind of feel icky, right? I don't want you to feel terrible about this. I want you to have an incredible option for them that you're proud of. My dad always used to say, I guarantee you're going to get involved in senior housing one way or another. So if you don't hear anything else that I say this morning, just do one of these homes so you or a loved one could live for free, and you could be cash flowing in the meantime. I'm going to try my best in this 20-30 minutes to share with you guys the 5 keys to success in residential assisted living, how to become a preferred real estate provider, getting twice the fair market rent with a long-term, low-impact tenant with little or no maintenance, as well as the 3 opportunities to get involved. I'm the COO of Residential Assisted Living Academy. I was named top senior housing influencer under 30. My family owns and operates 3 care homes in Arizona. I'm the lead educator at RAL Academy. We've trained over 100,000 people worldwide. And I was named future leader by Senior Housing News. Over the last 7 years, I built 8 companies and 3 RAL focused one. I did this all by my father's side. He passed last October, and I've kind of taken all of these companies by the helm and, running them all going forward. And my dad was my best friend and my mentor. I had a lot of fun by his side, building these businesses and growing and learning with him. He was featured in magazines, newspapers, TV programs. They called him the godfather of assisted living, right? Hundreds of podcasts and books. But what meant the most to me was when Robert Kiyosaki pointed at him from across the room and said, "Hey, that's the RAL guy." I was like, oh my gosh, Dad, do you know Robert Kiyosaki? He's like, from the book. And Robert came over and was chatting with my dad, asking him everything and anything about the business, how to get involved. What about the returns? What does it look like, right? He was so excited to learn because the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, he's all about getting out of the rat race. And what he saw assisted living to be was exactly that, the perfect way to cash flow while being able to passively invest. But it's not about Robert and what he's invested in. He's about $100 million invested in a big facility here in Phoenix. It's about you right now. This is my conversation with you, no one else. How much do you need every month to cover your personal expenses? Think about it. The house, the car, the kids, the food, the fun, right? All in. If you had a check coming in every single month with this dollar amount written on it, you could woosah, take a deep breath and relax, enjoy your life, maybe buy that boat or that second home, maybe spend time with who you want to, doing what you want to, right? Most people, and I've asked this question thousands of times, give me right around the same number, just about $10,000 per month. That might be close to your freedom number. Well, the good thing is one residential assisted living home can get you to that freedom number. Very exciting. But why? Why would you want to get involved in this type of real estate investing? Well, one, it's the demographics. It's an unstoppable silver tsunami of seniors. It's a 20-year wave that is starting right now. It's a situation we are all going to deal with. You're going to get involved one way or another. It's inevitable, right? Jimmy Buffett is opening Margaritaville themed retirement communities. Tracy Tudor's coming to our RAL National Convention this year because she's so excited. She's on Bravo's $1 Million Listing Los Angeles, and she's seeing the trends take over the LA market. Tyler Perry just launched a TV show called Assisted Living. Jonathan Goldsmith loves to come to our national convention. He also invests in RALs, the world's most interesting man there, as you might know and recognize him to be. And Meg the Stallion just went to Texas Southern University to open her own assisted living facility. Everyone's getting involved. They're seeing the trends. They're seeing what's happening, and they're wanting to take action. But when we talk about the different options for a single family home, right? Many of you are investors yourselves, and maybe you do fix and flip. This isn't cash now, it's cash flow, because you get the home, you renovate it, you sell it, and you make that 20 to 100K, but you make it one time. As soon as you sell the house, you're out of the job. You've got to get another one and do it again, and another one and do it again. And what happens when you get caught holding 10 of them and something happens, as many of you might have experienced, not so long ago? Or single family rentals. This has been a super hot market for the last couple of years, making a couple $100 a month or more on one single family home, right? Cool, but I'm going to need a lot of doors to get to my freedom number. So it's cash flow, but let's go even higher. What about a group home? Maybe for those who have clean, sober recovery needs, or veterans, or developmentally disabled adults. If this is where your heart lands, if this is what you're passionate about, then I highly, advise you to get involved and get invested in that, because there's so much need in this area. You could be making $1,000 a month or more. Airbnb, I love to stay in them. This is even higher cash flow at $2,000 a month or more. But what I'm here to share with you about is owning and operating a residential assisted living home, which could cash flow you $10,000 a month or more on just one home. So if you had one single family home and you were deciding what to do with it, the answer seems pretty clear to me. There's a proverb who says, "He who doesn't look ahead remains behind." The silver tsunami is either going to be a massive crisis, or it could be the biggest opportunity of your lifetime. But what is residential assisted living? I'm sure you know what assisted living is, but residential assisted living is just a group home for seniors that provides assistance with the residents' activities of daily living. So anything that a senior does from the moment they get up out of bed to the moment they go to bed at night, including bathing, brushing their hair, going to the bathroom, taking medication, eating, walking, really anything. It's not a Brookdale, right? It's not a Sunrise, long hallways, impersonal staff, massive food halls where you're just a number. That's not what we're focused on today. And it's not the opposite end of the spectrum, Golden Girls, right? 4 mature women living in a home who need minor help with landscaping, changing a light bulb, right? This is more independent living. What we're talking about is somewhere in the middle, a residential home in a residential setting, in a regular single family neighborhood, or maybe an upscale, beautiful neighborhood. Typically a single story home, but we have plenty of students with multiple level homes. It could be an upscale setting. And when you look inside, the floors are smooth and clean. There's a lot of sitting space. The furniture is age appropriate. Inside the bedrooms, there's beds and dressers. The bathrooms are accessible for seniors. And here's us celebrating 4th of July. It was just 4th of July this past weekend. And I love showing this photo because the caregiver is sitting enjoying with the seniors. She's not shoving food down their throats and hurry up, I've got to get the next batch of 50 seniors in, like you might see in a big facility. No, this is, she's enjoying the meal with them. She's hanging out with them. She has a personal relationship with each of the seniors. And we celebrate everything from St. Patrick's Day to birthdays to anniversaries, Valentine's Day, you name it, we celebrate it. Taco Tuesday even, because these seniors deserve everything in their last years of life. And there's a lot of meaningful, impactful contribution you could be getting from being involved in this industry. I've never gotten flowers for being a landlord to one of my renters. I've never gotten a big hug from someone I, rented the Airbnb to. I've never gotten a thoughtful card or text message to someone I worked my buns off to do a fix and flip for. But with residential assisted living, I'm constantly getting love and admiration from the families. They're saying thank you. They appreciate you because you're doing such an impactful, meaningful work for them. You gave them their parent back. They can now be a daughter or son once again. So if you want, purpose to feel good about what you do and make an impact, if you also want cash flow, security, wealth, appreciating assets, and to be able to leave a legacy, then this might be something for you. Everybody else is kind of doing the same old, right? There's HGTV shows about almost all of these. And when I talk about residential assisted living, usually in a group just like this, I ask people, are you doing this? Is anyone here doing this? And typically, not many people raise their hand, maybe me or one other person, but in all of these other categories, hands are flying everywhere, right? There is barriers to entry. 100%. And I love that because the facts and statistics are that there's 77 million baby boomers, 10,000 people a day turn 65, 4,000 people a day turn 85. 90% of seniors would rather stay in their own home, but 70% are going to need daily care for an average of 3.5 years. My crystal ball says they will need home and assistance. And I'm not the only one who thinks it. Harry S. Dent, New York Times bestselling author of The Demographic Cliff, says the opportunities of our lifetime in real estate development investing is likely to be in nursing homes and assisted living facilities. There are a lot of myths and misconceptions, right? Do you have to work in the home? Absolutely not. I don't, and we don't teach our students to do that. I'm going to teach you to work on your business, not in it. The liability is not through the roof. It's about $1 or $2 per day per resident, $300, $600 a month. It's a line item. We show you exactly who to use to protect yourself and your seniors and your caregivers because it's all vital. You want to make sure everybody is safe and taken care of. All the seniors did not die of COVID, unlike what everyone on social media wants to tell me. I don't know if they're just being a hater or what, but there is plenty of seniors and there's way more to come. The demand completely outweighs the supply. We're about 1.3 million beds short, and it's only going to be increasing over the next 20 years. This is a massive opportunity. You can find good employees, especially in our industry. People are so excited to come work for you when you have this opportunity for them because most caregivers aren't being able to give the quality care that they want and need to give to their seniors in large facilities. When the ratio is 35 seniors to one caregiver in a big facility, they're not getting the care that they need and want and deserve. And the caregiver feels terrible that they can't do that. So when you give them an opportunity to have a 4-to-1 or 5-to-1 ratio, they're thrilled to come work for you. In a luxury upscale setting, oh, you best believe they're ready to come work for you. You do not need medical experience, although if you are a doctor or nurse, that's a wonderful feather in your cap. But you do not need to be, medically inclined or have medical experience. You're not working in the home. HOAs cannot not allow you to do this because of the Federal Fair Housing Act, which is a federal law. It trumps any angry neighbor, city, state, county, or HOA. It is allowed anywhere, so they can't say no. And seniors can't afford this. And hopefully I'll have enough time to go through that with you. But these are misconceptions. And we go through all of these and more in our training so that you leave armed with all of the information and knowledge that you need to move forward. At the end of the day, it's just a single family home that's cash flowing way more than all of the other opportunities. So what are the 3 smartest options to participate in residential assisted living? Well, first, you could own the real estate and lease it to an operator, right? This is what we call being a preferred real estate provider. You could get twice the fair market rent. Why? How? What? Right? You've retrofit a home to be ready for this business to move in and operate. So you've done a lot of the heavy labor and hard work up front. So they're willing to pay extra for that. They're also going to be running a profitable business within your home. So they want a long-term contract with you, not a 1-year, 2-year, more like 3, 5, 8, 10-year lease, right? They're a low impact tenant. They're not having breeding pit bulls or dissecting motorcycles in the living room, no punches in the wall, right? No, very, very low maintenance, low impact tenants. And the way you set up your contract, you might not be in charge of the maintenance at all. You could be owning this in another state. So if you do want to participate using that first way, it's a great way. The second way, owning the real estate and operating the business. In a moment, I'll be going through the numbers with you, and that's the category we'll be talking about, right? That's how you make the most money and you control it all. The third option to participate is be a private lender or JV partner. So maybe you've got a lot of cash and you don't even want to own the real estate. You just want to invest in someone who's going to own and operate this business. There's plenty of opportunity to just do that. Let your money work for you. But how much money can you really make? Well, first, we've got to go over how much assisted living costs. If you don't hear anything else I say today, take a little photo of this website, okay? Because at the end of this, I'm going to give you a deal on our online home study course. But I want you to know what you're up against, right? What the reality of this is for you in your own personal life. Genworth.com/cost of care. On this website, you'll be able to type in your area where you live, and you'll be able to quickly find out how much assisted living costs in your area. There's even a really cool toggle button. So you can say, well, I'm not going to need this, or my mom's not going to need this for another 10 years. We'll bump it up 10 years and see how much it increases. And then remember, seniors typically need this care for 3.5 years. So times that monthly rate, by 3.5 years and find out if you're prepared for this. Remember, I mentioned my grandmother, we had an option to give her in-home care. Well, the cost of in-home care is about $27 an hour. So if you need 24/7 care, 27 times 24 times 30, that's about $19,000 a month. Who can pay for this? Not many people, right? So when you're telling your loved ones, don't worry, I'll let you stay in your home, I'll get you in-home care. Maybe you're thinking, well, I only need to give them care while I'm at work, right? I'll take nights and weekends, and I just need them to have in-home care while I'm at work. That's still going to run you about $4,000 or $5,000 a month, plus their lease or mortgage, their food, anything else that they need. And then you just gave up your nights and weekends, your wine nights, your book clubs, your church, your PTO meeting, your kids' soccer games. Say goodbye. Because if a senior needs 24/7 care, you're not lugging them around in the car to dance recitals and soccer practice. They need to be at home, right? It's painful for them to get up and move. So when we talk about the cost of assisted living nationally across the country, the average, this screenshot says $4,300, but I just checked last night, it's about $4,500 per person per month. That actually seems quite reasonable when we're comparing it to in-home care, right? Now, when we talk about the different levels, right? Anything below 4,000, if 4,500 is our average, anything below 4,000 will be below average. That's going to be your level 1, level 2. Anything, in that $4,000 to $8,000 range, that's your sweet spot, your level 3, 4. And then level 5, I know that looks exciting, getting $8,000 to $10,000 per month per resident. But remember, the chart gets smaller at the top. Your opportunity zone is shrinking. The bigger you get, right? The more expensive you get, because it's a niche thing. Because if someone can afford $10,000 a month or more, might they also be able to afford in-home care at $19,000? Potentially, right? So that sweet spot, level 3, 4, is where we want you to focus. Now, some states, they range. $4,500 per month is the average in the US, but DC's average is $6,900 a month on average. And then Washington, $6,000, right? And Connecticut, almost $5,100, right? So if you're in the top 10 here, woohoo, you've got a really expensive state there. Those are some of the top 10 states of how expensive it can get. If you had one home providing you an additional $10,000 a month, wouldn't you be more confident and secure knowing you could pay your bills easily and stay in control financially? Or be more comfortable knowing you could provide a home for your loved ones if they ever need assistance? Or be more fulfilled that you're leaving a difference and making a mark on the world? Now, I want to run through the numbers with you really quickly because I know I only have a couple minutes left, but how can one RAL home set you free? We're going to go on the low end of those average numbers. So $4,300 per month per person times 10 licensed beds. Every state has a limitation on the maximum amount of residents you're allowed in the home. It ranges between 6 and 16 in almost every state. 10 is kind of right in the middle, so we're going to use that number for our examples. That's bringing us in $43,000 of monthly gross income. Of course, there's overhead. In our training, we go through these expenses with you line by line so you understand exactly what's too high and what's too low and what's reasonable, right? But for the sake of today, I want us to focus on the two numbers below, $18,000 and $28,000. $18,000 is if you want to be the candlestick maker, the cook, and the baker. That is not what I do, and that's not what I teach you to do. I want us to focus on that $28,000 number. That's when you hire the staffing who's going to take care of it within your home so that you can truly be the owner and operator. So if 28,000 is our overhead, our debt service in most parts of the country, you could get a pretty nice home for $5,000 a month. That's leaving us with $10,000 of monthly net income or $120,000 of annual net income on one average residential assisted living home. But I showed you some of those top 10 states that have a lot nicer average homes, right? So let's go with a little nicer home. Maybe we're charging $5,500 per month times those same 10 residents, $55,000 a monthly gross, same overhead because it's just a nicer home, but it really costs the same to run the business. So let's bump the debt service up to $7,000. Maybe it's in a nicer area. Maybe it's a bigger lot, right? The bedrooms are bigger. Maybe it's got a movie theater. I don't know, whatever you want. The sky's the limit. That's bringing us in $20,000 of monthly net income or $240,000 of annual net income. I want to show you one more example because I did mention that you could have anywhere between 6 and 16 residents. So let's go for a luxury 15-bed home, right? 15 is easier than 16 math. So $7,000 per month times 15 residents, bringing in $105,000 of monthly gross, right? Our overhead, we're going to double it, bringing it from 28 to about 50,000 because we have 5 extra residents. So we're going to need more food. We're going to need more activities, more staffing, more, right? Also, with that much monthly gross income coming in, we can afford to have a higher overhead. Our debt service, we're also going to double it, bringing it from $7,000 to $15,000 a month. This is bringing us in $40,000 of monthly net income or $480,000 of annual net income. How would you be spending that money? Would you be going on more vacations with the kids? Would you quit your job? Would you buy the second home? I mean, what would you be doing? This is pretty incredible to think that one home could be doing this for you. And in our training, we really encourage you to actually do 3 homes, have a 3-pack, because if you're going to do this, why not really do it? Right? Why not really invest in this and get started and double down and go big? Because you can share those resources. You can share your staffing and your residents. When you're over full in one home, you can have them go to another home and it gives you more opportunity. You know, we taught this to many students over the years, but Donald and Talinda, I wanted to introduce you guys to them. This is their 12-bed home out in Kansas City. Absolutely incredible couple. And it's really just exciting to see them and their success after they came through our training. And Cedric and Michelle in California, he's an anesthesiologist making more money with his one RAL home than he was as an anesthesiologist. That's pretty incredible. Ogita and her family, they started with our online home study course. They're out in Florida. They now have 4 homes in Florida. Super exciting. They're cash flowing like crazy and she is loving it. Ryan, his vision is to open 50 luxury RAL homes, earn the reputation as the best, package them up and sell them to private equity. He's on home number 9 right now. He just got started this past year. I'm so excited for him. He is surely going to reach that goal. Carla Lee, she's out in New Mexico. She started and she took the course in February, had a business in July. For others in her area, it took them years to have their doors open because they didn't have the support that she had. She opened 9 homes in less than 3 years. And Sean, he opened his first home a couple months after finishing the course. His 3rd home's up and running, and he's working on his 4th home. He quit his corporate job, and he just texted me last week. He just bought a Maserati. I mean, that is really cool. My dad used to have a Maserati, and he was like, I want to buy one in homage to him and just to celebrate my success in the industry. He started just like you, and now he's achieving things he never thought he would. Mark and her father, Jessica, father-daughter team, just like me and my dad were, they now have 2 homes up and running. And, you know, they're super successful, really, really proud of them. I got to visit their open home just a couple weeks ago. But the real question is, will you be the next success story? I know we're going to have a little Q&A after this, but the choice is up to you, right? You can have a Men in Black moment and be like, this was cool information. Thanks so much. Flash, forget everything, right? You could try to figure it out all by yourself, and I wish you the best of luck. Or of course, you can hire me and my team and we can help build the life of your dreams. One RAL home can get you to that freedom number. And today I want to give you guys a super discounted offering on our online home study course. You can do this from home. It's go at your own pace. There's 11 modules and 46 sections. You can review it as many times as you like. It's lifetime access. We update it every year or so when we give you the freshest course, the freshest material. You'll learn how to find the best opportunities for RAL in any area, how to determine if a property is right, how to attract investors, how to find the home, fund the home, fill the home, getting that right team so you can make sure that you have the highest paying clients and fill your home quickly. I also want to show you how you can do it without using your own capital and how you can have your first RAL home in 3 to 6 months from today. Typically, it is $2,497, and we usually discount it to $1,497. When you go to our website, you will see that there. But today I talked to the team and Scott said, let's give it to them for $997. So when you go to RALAHSC.com, RALAHSC.com, and use promo code ROYAL, you will get that price knocked down to $997 for our online home study course. I just wanted to offer that to you guys today before we go into a little bit of Q&A and make that available for you guys. And just thank you for giving me the time to chat with you guys. I hope you guys learned a lot, and I'm excited to see what questions you have.